I don't know about you two, but the ladies on Facebook are ready. They're ready for this live. This is an impromptu live, and I'm getting ready to do it, guys. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going live right now on YouTube and Facebook. And what I'm doing is getting ready to start now. All right. All right. Y'all going to have to bear with me because I'm doing two lives at the same time, at the same doggone time. I am positioned. I am positioned for this live, ladies. Give me a shout out if you're on here. I put that watch party up there to get everybody involved on today. I put it on here to thank you. Said thank you for your commitment. I appreciate that. You know, I juggle a whole lot of things. I'm going to tell some ladies tonight what I juggle. And you guys will be like, that's a lot. And sometimes I don't get to juggle stuff. Sometimes I just have to leave one thing alone just to get another. And I am so real tonight. So yeah, I am dedicated because look at my hair. My hair is under here, y'all. But I ain't did it and I ain't going to do it. I'm going to get it curled and I'm going to see how it looks short. Come on, everybody. Let's see who's going to come in. I had some people waiting on the watch party. Let's see who we can. I don't know if I can tag anybody. Oh, gosh. This tag button doesn't work. I hope y'all caught my tag. Let's see. I'm going to tag again. Hold on. Here we go. Real fast, real fast. Danya, every time I type your name in, it doesn't come up. So if you see this video, Danya, don't feel like you're left out. I've been thinking about you all week, and I have called you. You know, there's certain people that I think about sometimes, and I give you a call. So if I call you out of the blue, it's because God has put you on my mind. So we're gonna take our time this evening because I think this is like a laid back Friday where people are sitting down watching TV and y'all need a word for 2021. I'm finna give it to you. I am so, and I appreciate that comment about my dedication. I am so dedicated to people in general. It doesn't matter if it's women, if it doesn't matter if it's men, it doesn't matter if they're up, it doesn't matter if they're down, it doesn't matter if they're black or white. I help and mentor people all over. I have people that get in my DMs that have questions, and also people that call me. And I had a young lady, actually, a friend of mine that's a younger friend of mine, and she called me or I called her and we were talking. And at the end of the conversation, she asked me, could I mentor her? And I have not been straight out forward asked that, but I have had women, have me mentor them, in my DM, but to be asked that is totally different. And I thought that was so cool and respectful that I was asked that. So I'm going to re-tagging people and I'm going to go into this commentary I have because I think y'all can benefit from it and it's going to be good. So I don't want you to miss it. So shout out to anybody that's on here, my YouTube folks. Usually pick it up later when I post it. But right now you have it live on Facebook. And because you have it live on Facebook, I am going to look mostly your way. And YouTube is going to have to just deal with that. All right. So let's hang in there. And I'm just tagging a few people, just going down the list. I'm not picking anybody in particular, but actually I'm on the Women of Worth list. So this is going to be given to the women. So you guys are officially, let me do this. You guys are officially going to get this. Now, there's a lot of people that got on And when I pushed the watch party, I was just tagging people in the watch party. But I'm going to give it a few minutes. Hey, Miss Martina, how are you? Thank you for getting on. And let me go in here and do some things. Let's see. Okay. Let me get on this live. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you 3 necessary ways on how to get what you are supposed to get in 2021. Now, I am a person that's really real. I'm really impromptu sometimes. And right now we're on Facebook. And this is going to be on Facebook Live. And I've got my hair in a little hat that you sleep in. And I'm sleeping in this. And I'm keeping it on here. You know, one thing I know about women is we like to look good. And I'm just basically put myself out here on a night like tonight, looking like this. And it isn't even important to me because I feel like this. Sometimes you got to show when you're up. Sometimes you got to show when you're down. It's just keeping it real with everybody, you know? So I'm saying hi to my YouTube channel. And I'm saying hi to you guys. And I'm going to get going. I got 3 people on here. And it is going to be popping on this subject. And I want to talk to you about 3 ways that are necessary to receive in 2021. Now, you're going to find this going to be simple and it's going to be very straightforward. And you're going to find that it's going to help you. And if you practice this and if you do this, you will definitely accomplish some things in 2021 that you've always wanted to accomplish. And you're going to put things in order that you always wanted to put in order. And you're going to get the things that you've been waiting to get for a long time. And you guys probably have not been practicing these things. And they're going to be so simple. You're going to probably hit yourself on the head when I give it to you. So let me just begin to talk. One thing about this title, 3 ways to position yourself, or 3 ways to get what you need in 2021, is it is very, very true, and it is very God sent. So let's just get to it. Okay, the first way you have to do is you have to pray and ask God. You have to ask God for the things that you need and that you want. He's your Father, and He's looking for you to ask Him for what you need. Ask Him. And if you're trying to get something in 2021, you're also going to have to ask men. So number 1, you're going to have to ask God, and you're going to have to ask men. You're going to have to open your mouth, and you're going to have to begin to ask for what you want. A lot of you always miss out on getting what you need because you're scared to ask. You're scared to ask. You forget to pray and ask God, but you're definitely scared to ask people for what you want. I'm the kind of person that if I want something, I ask for it. That means if I want you to take some money off of a bill, if I want you to take off a late fee, I'm going to ask for it. If I want to step in line because I'm running late and somebody else is at the head of the line, and I see that they might have a full buggy of groceries and I'm running late, I'm going to open my mouth and ask for it. Please, can I get in front of you? If I am in a position to have my property, give you a prime example of my property going to a hearing, and there is a date on there that I can't make that date, I'm not going to pressure myself to get to that date. I am going to position myself to first, I'm going to ask God to make it a way that I can get to it. I'm going to position myself and ask God, but I'm definitely going to open my mouth and I'm going to say, hey, I can't make this hearing date. Is there some way you can move this date? Most of you guys don't want to ask because you think sometimes people are not going to do it. So you sit back and you deal with whatever you get. Not that kind of person right here. I don't deal with whatever is given or put in front of me or shifted over to me. This is so practical, guys. I don't deal with it. I don't just deal with stuff. I don't let anybody make me deal with stuff. I ask. I open my mouth and ask. If I'm in a courtroom and I have a traffic ticket and it's $200 and something and I don't want it on my record, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to open my mouth and I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask the judge. I'm going to ask the lawyer. I'm going to ask the little clerk. Anybody that I can get something done from, I'm going to ask. First, I'm going to pray and ask God. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm talking about right now 3 ways to position yourself to get something in 2021, to get what you need, what you want, what you expect in 2021. 3 ways. And I just said the first way is to ask, and that you need to ask God and you need to also ask man. So once you ask God, it's not over with. The asking that you do is not over with. You got to ask somebody else that's in this world to accomplish the things that you need to get. So once you ask God, what you want to ask God for is you want to ask God, first of all, to give you the situation the way you want to have it. That's number 1. Number 2, and that might not be in the order of 1 and 2, but number 2, you got to ask God, is this something that may not be in your will? If it's not necessarily in your will, then don't do it. You don't just ask God and say to every prayer that you pray, Lord, if your will be done, just give me this. No, you have to talk to God and say, listen, God, you have to position yourself and say, listen, Lord, I know you can do this. And I know you're capable of doing that. I know that in your will, you said I can have this, that, and the other. So there's certain things that are just in God's will that are for you anyway. So you don't necessarily have to say, oh, let your will be done in every situation, because that's copping out. You're supposed to ask for what you want. So you're supposed to ask for what you need. You're supposed to ask for other people that don't know how to ask. So definitely you're supposed to ask God. So you ask God, and once you ask God, then you ask God for the favor to get it, because you're going to have to encounter people. You're going to have to ask people for this that you want in the earth realm. So after you ask God, you're going to ask people, ask God to give you favor with people. Before you even go to the people, you're going to say, touch this person's heart. Give me favor with this person. Touch this one's heart. Give me favor with this one. In this situation, God, give me favor in this situation. So the very most first and most important thing you're going to do is you're going to ask. The Bible says that the king's heart is in the Lord's hand, and he turns it whatever way he will. So that simply means that any person that you're dealing with, their heart is in God's hand, and he can turn it whatever way he wants to turn it. If it's a person that's in position that he's positioned in that place. Let me say that again. God is not going to ask everybody to and simply turn everybody's heart to where you want it. He's not going to do that. But if it's somebody, see, the Bible says that the kings are set up in authority. They're set up in positions. They're set in places. And so because they're a king and they're sovereign, they're working on God's side. So when there is a person in position, let's use that for an example, and you need that person to do something for you, or you need that person out of the way, or you need that person to give you something that they don't normally give somebody, you're going to have to ask God, If it's a person in position that God has set in position in these places, they may not want to give you anything. They may be accustomed to dealing with people the same way every time. But I have asked people that are accustomed to dealing with people the same way every time. And before they get to me, I've already prayed about it. Before they get to me, I have already asked for the favor of the person that I'm dealing with. And so before I get to them, rather, instead of them get to me, before I get to them, I've asked for favor. I've asked for God to send angels and go before me. I have asked the third thing, that God touch their heart and their mind to turn in my favor. So just like Pharaoh, God was able to use his heart and harden his heart against the children of Israel. And when he did that, he made them, he went against them, went to try to capture them because his heart was hardened. But at the beginning, he turned his heart and he made it so it was softened to let them go. Now, that's because this king was a king that was in position set up by God for a reason, because he wanted the children of Israel to begin to cry out so they could leave their taskmasters. And in order to do that, he had to make some tests and trials come so that they would want to leave Egypt. They were so accustomed to Egypt. And some of y'all are so accustomed to the negativity that you do, or the negativity that you're in, or something that you're used to doing. And so God can turn some people's hearts around to cause you to be a little bit uncomfortable with the situation that you're in. And then he's able to move. Now, so when you have a situation, the first thing of the three things I'm telling you that can position you for success in 2021 is to ask. Do you stop asking when they say no? No, you ask again in a different way. Do you stop asking when they say no, when you ask again in a different way? No, you ask for a different person. Do you stop asking when the different person tells you no? No, sometimes you have to hang up the phone and pray again and say, God, those weren't the people. Let me get the person that's going to give me favor. And you make your prayer more specific and you ask again. So I'm teaching you how to be successful because I've been around long enough to have some success stories where I have asked for what I want. I have asked God to move for the things I want him to move for. And I have not given up asking. And I have learned that the only way you're going to get anything, a closed mouth will not be fed. Come on. Now I know I can get some hearts on that one. Oh gosh, I see a few people on here. Carter and White, Cohen, and Shannon and Evelyn. Listen, when you start asking, you will receive. If you're going to sit back and take stuff, you're going to be miserable sitting back and taking whatever is dished out to you. But if you see what's dished out to you is not what you want, you're God's child. So you got to realize who you are and whose you are. And you got to begin to, first of all, go to your Father and you have to ask. You've got to make asking a commitment in your life. You really do. You have to make asking something that is a part of you if you're a person that is not used to asking for anything. So if you want to get some things in 2021, you got to get over that shyness and ask. Or you can keep that shyness and ask in a shy way. But whatever you do, you have got to ask to position yourself for success. God and men. So God in the spiritual, men in the natural, you have to ask. And I can give you a testimony. First of all, when I needed a place to live and my husband and I separated in 2003, I was so used to ministry with women when I was with him And he said, so you're probably going to get a job now. And I said, I do have a job raising your children and working with women. And I was just sitting there one day trying to figure out, what am I going to do in a foreclosed house? Where am I going to live? Because he's not giving me anything. And then what am I going to do as far as an income? And the first thing that came to my mind was I was working with women. And so what I did was I looked at the place that we had already looked at, my husband and I said, well, I got to ask because I don't have any money to pay for it. So I have to ask, can I get this place so I can open up a women's program? It didn't even cross my mind that I needed to ask for a home for my children. The first thing I did was thought about God and what I love to do and how it was going to make it possible for me to provide for my family and the gift he given me to work with women. And so I found out who owned the house. Make a long story short, I went to, what is it called? Arby's. Yes, Arby's. Met him at Arby's. And I said, sir, I don't know you. I said, but you have a house on this corner, on this street, blah, 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 blah. And I was wondering if I can use it to work with women. And I said, I don't have any money right now. I was asking. That's what I was doing. Just simply asking. And I had prayed about it and said, God, that's my house.